Well, good morning. Um, I'm going to talk about there's a link up here. It says today's excerpt from Cigar Box. I'm going bit by bit each week on Saturday when we do what's called the compilation, which is a collection of the previous week's articles and everything. We always include an article to introduce it, and I've been lately doing bits and pieces of my book, Cigar Box. I want you, I want you to notice um, that now Sharon is a work of fiction, but it has a strong woman in the center. Um, Cigar Box is got a basis in true events, and I want you to look at the strong woman in the center. In our movie that was released this week, our little film has Jackie in it, which is strong woman in the center. All these strong women have one thing in common: they're strong women in the center. Okay. Um, uh, some people should be appraised and aware that pissing and moaning about your situation rather than doing something about it is not ever a good thing. All of my books, Dobbit Doe, same thing. It was a sci-fi horror. It had two strong women in the center. So I don't know why I do that. I guess it's a click with me and everything. But I like women who are smart and strong and they're motivated. Okay. The person that we deal with on this group here is not strong, she's not intelligent, and she's not motivated. So when you get about 50 years old, you the old con runs out. I mean, I'll just be honest with you. The old con runs out. Everything that worked since you were like 18 or so, along about 50 or so, usually about 35 years old, you settle into what your game plan is going to be, pretty much. But surely about 50, even if you're a homeless bum and you're sitting on a curb drinking cheap wine out of a pint bottle, you figure out, well, this is where this is where I must be. It's where I'm going to do for the rest of my life, So that's what a lot of people need to realize. I settled into real estate and I was pretty comfortable there and everything until we had the crash back in 2009. And I ended up traveling around and all this kind of stuff, and I pretty well settled in. I came back and I said, well, I started writing articles for Doc Green, and I said, well, this is what I'm going to be. I'm not going to be a hit songwriter. I'm going to be this, and it worked out. Um, if you have connections in Hollywood, and very famous lawyers and very famous judges and very famous people, and you come from this pedigree background that you come from and everything, when you're 50 and your con runs out, you should be able to put together another con, another way. If life gets a lot better when you're motivated, you're doing something, and things are are going slow. That thing I put up today, the link up here and everything. First thing in my mind this morning, I was going to do that part of that book and put it out because I had people following that book. The movie that we put out. And it's not very famous. It's not making millions of dollars, but the numbers. Well, we have a saying in our family and everything. When Jackie smiles, the toothpaste flies. She sells. For some reason, I don't care how bad it is. I don't care about the pixelation. I don't care. Got kids in India watching that thing right now. You know, and I put it together. Me and Lance and a few other people, we put it together. We'll watch it as a bunch of old farts, and we'll say, well, there it is, But for some reason, teenage girls take one look at Jackie and they lose their rabbit-ass minds. And that's good. That's good. So my advice to people who want to talk about the past and goad their brother into a deathbed statement and all that, get your act together. If you know all this you say use it. Use it. I said you were trailer trash. Well, no, you're not trailer trash because trailer trash has a trailer. Let's be the trailer. So if she didn't mention my name this time, I won't mention her name. When she mentions my name, we'll play whack-a-mole again. But my advice to her is pull your act together. chasing around behind boyfriends, bodyguards, or dogs that don't seem to exist.
Get your phone out of my face.
When people accuse you of not even having a dog, and you can sit in a Starbucks for 30 minutes at a time and make all kinds of live feeds, but you can't pull your camera out and take one picture of you with the puppy dog. See, that puts the lie. So my suggestion, just take it with a word of advice, you know. And problems, I have them all the time. I had a total disaster yesterday. I mean, total disaster. Let me show you something. Let me show you my sponsor this weekend. There's my sponsor this weekend right there. All right. You know, sometimes I get these things that come along and just knock me for a roll and everything, and my conscience starts talking to me, and my second thoughts start talking to me, and I have this little guy inside of me starts trying to grab a hold of my consciousness and everything. But I found out that a few shots of this usually makes that son of a bitch shut up.